So that was pretty heavy. I think you can admit that was pretty heavy. What is up, y'all? Welcome to yet another episode of the Sunday Riff Refinery. We are on episode 11 now. Hardly can believe it. I can believe it. I've been having a lot of fun with this. I've said that in every single episode and I'm still saying it. So last week we did a really banger of a metalcore song, and this week we're going back into the alt rock and even like post-hardcore kind of genre. I don't know. I was channeling some Chevelle, I was channeling some Breaking Benjamin, I feel like, but also channeling those newer bands like Slow Joy and Balance and Composure, even though they're not really a new band. Balance and Composure has been around for a pretty long time. But all of this was inspired by a new gear acquisition. Everybody says that gear doesn't make you better. Well, gear made me better because it made me write something this week. And what that is the Machina 2 fuzz pedal from Fuzz Imp. Now, this is a dual style distortion and fuzz pedal. Sounds really sick, and this is the tone that I've gotten with it. It is now going through the PV Invectives clean channel and sounds a little bit like this. So that's all with the GOC Guitars Illumina Modern with the stock pickups in it, but I did install a new push-pull coil tap pot inside of this. So that is in the coil tap position on the bridge pickup, and I think it sounds pretty damn good. Now, I am not one who's really ever used a fuzz pedal before. I didn't know what to do with it. Now, when you look up what kind of bands generally use a fuzz pedal, it's usually classic rock bands, obviously because fuzz pedals have been around since way before I was born, and then newer style bands with shoegaze and even grunge and things of that sort, and none of that is music that I'm used to playing, so I didn't know what the heck to do with the fuzz pedal. I just knew that I wanted to figure it out, and messing with software fuzz pedals just never really did it for me. And so I ordered this from Fuzz Imp, and this is my second pedal from Fuzz Imp, and I'm loving it already. I don't know if that tone that I've created is as much of a fuzz tone as it is a very thick, like distorted tone instead. And that's what I'm loving about it. That is on a split coil pickup on here, and it's sounding thick as hell. And it sounds really good double track. So let's go ahead and go up into Logic, and that riff that I just played you, surprise, surprise, is the riff that we're working with. So let's go ahead and work with it. And just in case anybody's wondering, this is not a sponsored video. I did buy that pedal myself. I'm just loving the pedal so far. And I think everybody should check out Fuzz Imp. Descriptions down below as usual, as well as affiliate links for all of the gear that I use to make these videos and all of my past videos as well. But let's go ahead and start tracking this. All right, we're off to a decent start. That's not too bad. Let's drag that track down here and we'll double track it. Let's hope I didn't just jinx myself. So as you heard, that sounds thick as hell. That sounds really, really good. But what we're missing is some drums for it. So let's go ahead and create a MIDI region here. Now for this style of music, I'm going to stick with Robot Dog drums. This is just what's sounding good to me. So the way I've got this kit laid out, I felt like it needed a really fat but very like raw sounding snare. So that's what I picked. That's just what was sounding good to me, honestly. All right, so as far as the drums go, I'm thinking something very simple here because we don't want to overpower the guitars in this. And yes, I know that sounds funny. So let's try, yeah. Let's get some cymbals going in here as well, and then we'll continue that. Do we want crash? Let's do crashes on every note, but we'll do them a little bit lesser on each or every other hit. And by lesser, I mean just a little bit lower velocity. So, all right, now let's go ahead and take a listen to how these drums are sounding. Okay, so as you can hear, the drums are sounding cool now, but you can tell my guitars are kind of bad as far as timing goes, so let's go ahead and fix those real quick. Okay, see, that's just flowing better than it was when I recorded it to just the click. Cool. Definitely better than the first takes there. But now we need a lead guitar. So for the lead guitar, I want to change things up a little bit. I want some effects and I want some flanger, I think. So when I do the leads for this, I'm thinking like nu metal and I'm thinking shoegaze, I'm thinking those alt rock bands. If you listen to like older Breaking Benjamin and Chevelle, their lead guitar parts are very distinct and they stick out. And it's because they're very highly like effects driven. So if we look down at this next track, I do have an instance of STL AmpHub. And what I've gone and done is I put the flanger effect on that. So. So not the most fun sounding on its own, but I think in the mix it's going to sound pretty sick. So we need to go ahead and record just something lead-ish with this real quick. If I can play it. That was almost it. I got something there at the end. Let's go ahead and redo that. I think that works. Let's go ahead and I think I want this to go twice like that. I don't know. I feel like it should go twice, but once without the lead and once with it. So let's go ahead and listen to how that would sound. Alright, so yeah, I think that fits, honestly. I think having them side by side like that, I may end up taking that out later, but for now we're going to leave it in. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn off the Machina 2, and I'm going to turn on my new pedal, which is a preamp pedal from Victory Amps, and this is called the Copper. And I'm turning it on because I am going to use it as my clean/dirty sounding amp. The reason is it sounds really, really good. It's a great sounding, like, clean preamp. It's a tube preamp, so there's no power amp section. It's actually going into the effects loop of the PV Invective. So if we hear this now, it's just a really pleasing sound to me. I don't know why. I'm really loving this pedal so far, and I really highly recommend you check it out if you need something that's very clean. That's about as distorted as it gets on its own. You could throw an overdrive in front of it and get some more out of it, but it's really not that kind of preamp. It's not a metal preamp. So I'm sure you could coax it out of it, but that's not what I wanted it for, and that's not what I'm using it for. So for this next section, I'm feeling like it just needs to be more tame than that first section. So that was pretty heavy. I think you can admit that was pretty heavy. I want this to be a little bit more tame for this next section here. And I want it to be, you know, that ebb and flow of a good old nu metal and alt rock song where you come in with a banger of an intro, which is usually part of the chorus. And then the first verse is very chill and usually just a simple guitar riff with a nice drum beat underneath it. Sometimes it's just bass even. And I'm not going to do just a bass riff today. We're going to do a guitar riff for sure. But I don't know what I'm feeling here, so I want to keep in the same key, and not knowing music theory, I don't even know what the hell that means anyways, but I know that I want it to be something like that. So something like that. That's what I'm feeling there. I think that will work. Let's just go ahead and play to a click and figure it out. Let's go ahead and see about double tracking that. Now we need drums for it. That worked out pretty well. I like that. We're gonna need a lead to go over that one as well though. So don't you worry. We're gonna write a lead, probably with the flanger again. This needs to be quieter though, so let's drag this down here and bring these down a little bit, so probably maybe 1.5 decibels quieter. See, that's just a chill sounding guitar, I like it. All right, so as far as drums go, I'm feeling like a tom style beat here. I'm feeling like a, man, I can't even remember what these style beats are called, but let's just go ahead and write in some drums here, so. Let's go ahead and drop these in. So decka, 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 duh is what I'm thinking of, so. You know what, let's do that in the toms that are lower though. I'm still not sure about the hi-hats there, but I had gotten some advice from my homie Braden over on TikTok actually, and he told me to do the hi-hats because I wasn't thinking of anything I could do with the cymbals there. And I think they work, honestly, they work. I just don't know what the heck else I would do there. This is one of those things where I have no experience writing like a groove, because all I ever write is metalcore, you know? Like I really need to focus in on writing better drum grooves that have like some actual groove to them, because that could really elevate this spot and I don't know what to do there, so. Okay, I like this. Now I want it to repeat. So we're gonna go ahead and copy and paste all of it over. And we need a lead guitar here. So we're gonna go back to our flanger track right here. And we're going to get, we gotta turn it back on first. All right, so I went and re-recorded the guitars there. They just were not sounding right with the drums, and that's usually what happens to me. So let's take a listen and jam along to this a little bit more. I don't know, the end there's just not doing it for me. I think that's it for the guitars right now, honestly. That's sounding pretty good. I like it. It's definitely not something that I would normally write, and I like that about it. So let's go ahead and do bass. We need bass in this all now. So let's go back to the beginning and let's switch to a bass. All right, so for the bass tone, we're working with STL AmpHub again. This is the Ampeg, like SVT style amp inside of it. And this is my just Squier Jazz bass with the upgraded Seymour Duncan 1/4 pound pickups in it. But I'm wondering if we just try the fuzz pedal. So here's the tone I've got. Just a really basic tone. Let's try the fuzz pedal just for the shits and gigs. So up here in AmpHub, we've got very basic settings. We've got the SVT amp itself. Stomp boxes, we've got nothing. Cabinets, we've got, what is that, the 6x10 with a 421 and a 112, and then no effects on here as well. So I'm gonna close this out, and I just wanna see, let's just jam along with this real quick to see if it actually sounds good with a like fuzz pedal. I think that's gonna be too loud, but we'll see. I think that sounds good. What we'll do is we'll record it both ways. Okay, so now we'll do one without the fuzz pedal. It's gonna be a little bit harder to hear, but I'm not gonna mess with the volume here. Okay, I think I like it without the fuzz, honestly. Just for this one, I just didn't think it sounds too mid-rangey if I do that, which is a very mid-range heavy set of pickups in this too, so it could just be the pickups. But I've got the fuzz take if I decide in the final mix down that I want to use it. For now, we're not going to. And that is it. Y'all, that is the song for this week. That's honestly, it's a banger. I know I say that about everything I write, but it's okay to be proud of what I write, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. We've got a very, very simple riff this time. And I say this every week, but this one really needs vocals, and I need to get over my, stage fright and being self-conscious and actually write some vocals for it. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to listen to this in the context of the entire mix now, and you're going to hear it actually fully mixed. I haven't mixed it yet. I'm going to do that later, and I'm not going to record the process this time because nobody really cared to watch it last time. So we're just going to get straight into letting you hear the final mix, and I hope y'all like this. Thank you yet again for joining me along this ride. If you like watching me write this style of music, let me know, because I actually really have fun doing it. And it's nice to write something that's different from metalcore for a change. And it's challenging me in a way I didn't expect, because it's forcing me to not write something complex or complicated. It's forcing me to let the instruments breathe. And especially with the drums, not writing double bass or anything like that. It's forcing me to write out of my norm. And it's uncomfortable for me at first, but it's a lot of fun. So let's go and take a listen. Well, that was it. That's one of my favorite ones that I've written. I know I've said that a million times, and I'm not going to stop saying it because I should love everything that I write anyways. And all of you musicians know how much imposter syndrome makes you hate everything you write anyways. But that was Sunday Riff Refinery number 11 in the books. This is yet another song that I'm going to add to the alt rock and nu metal style EP that I'm writing. That's going to be coming later this year. There's a lot of stuff that I'm talking about in here that's a more to come kind of situation, and I don't know when that kind of stuff is going to be released because I've got a lot of pieces moving right now, especially with life things happening. But the important part is that I'm still writing this music and things are coming out. These are actually going to become songs, and I couldn't be more stoked for my future as a songwriter right now because I'm having so much damn fun doing this. And I really appreciate all of you that come along for the ride every week and watch these and give me feedback and comment on how I'm doing. And let me know down in the comments below, would you like to see me live stream this stuff on YouTube here? Because I do that sometimes on TikTok, and I've thought about doing it here on YouTube, and I just haven't done it yet. So let me know if that's something that you would watch, because I can just film all of this at the same time and then post my Sunday Riff Refineries afterwards, after I cut out a bunch of stuff, obviously, because those live sessions can end up being an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long. But if that's something you would like to tag along with, let me know. But until next time, thank you all again. Peace and love, and I'll talk to you in the next one.